The rich are rich for one thing, their mindset. And likewise, the poor are poor, not for anything, but for what they believe in. And that is their mindset, about their philosophy. You can never succeed more than your mind. What I mean is that you can never succeed beyond the level of your personal development and where your mind has got to. To truly be rich in physical terms, your mind should have gotten there, or at least would have to go ahead of you before you finally get there physically. So in other words, the difference between the rich and the poor lies in their core philosophies, their beliefs, their mindset. And in this video, I'll present to you 5 practical differences between the rich and the poor in terms of their mindset or their beliefs. If you're new here, please subscribe to this channel and turn on the notification bell, as I always provide powerful content that will help you to achieve the highest level of your potential. Okay, so let's go into the details. Number 1 difference between the rich and the poor is that the poor believe in instant gratification, while the rich believe in delayed gratification. What am I talking about? The poor always want to buy them the best things that he needs, even when he doesn't have money. So he buys the best clothes, the best watches. And when I say he wants to buy the best things, in fact, I'm really talking about the mindset. The person might not necessarily be that rich, but he can afford some basic things in life. And the little money he gets, he wants to buy those luxuries of life. On the other hand, the rich always want to, when I say the rich, the philosophy of those who become rich, they always want to delay their instant gratification for their delayed gratification. They always want it big and better. That is why you see that a rich person, on the process of becoming rich, he invests his money in assets. He invests his money in things that are going to bring out wealth. So at that time, he delays his gratification. He delays buying the best cars he wants. He delays buying the best clothing he likes. He delays buying the best cars. But the poor will always spend all that he or she has, to buy the best that he wants, the best type of clothing, the best type of food, the best type of car he wants, or live in the best house he wants. Though he does not have that capability to live there. Before you can really live there, your money, you should actually have financial freedom. When I say financial freedom, you should know that, okay, if I buy this one, I have more than 100 times this particular amount of money. So at that time, you are financially free. But if you are taking all the money that you have to buy that particular thing, then you are really enjoying instant gratification instead of delaying your gratification. So that is one major thing. The poor really enjoy instant gratification, and the rich invest their money in delayed gratification. In other words, they invest their money in assets, and when their assets actually accumulate to bring them sufficient passive income, where even if they stop working, they can still make money, then they now enjoy the luxuries of life they want. So that is true wealth. So that is one of the basic difference between the rich and the poor. Okay, number 2, the rich wants to be taught how to catch fish, but the poor always want to be given fish. What do I mean? You see, the philosophy of the poor is that they want you to teach, they value people who give them money, rather than people who teach them how to make money. That is why someone who gives a poor person some small amount of money, for example, let's say $100, the poor will value that person than someone who will give him an idea that can make him $1 million. That's the philosophy of the poor. On the other hand, the rich value people who give them ideas. And the rich knows that if they teach you, if they catch fish for you, as the saying goes, if you teach if you give a man a fish, then you are feeding him for one day. But if you teach him how to catch fish, you are feeding him for a lifetime. The rich know that if you give them fish, it is going to finish in one day. But if you teach them how to catch fish, or if you give them ideas, that particular money you are giving them will finish. But if you give them ideas of how to make money, they can always make money all the time and make the amount that they want. So that's the second difference between the rich and the poor. The third difference between the rich and the poor is that the poor believe higher certificates will make them successful. And the rich believe what you can provide, the value you can provide is what makes you successful. This is one of a clear difference between the rich and the poor. So the poor believe that the higher your academic certificate, the more successful you become. That is why when they want to increase their earning, they go back to complete another course. The rich, on the other hand, know that your success in life depends on the value you can provide and not about your certificate. So they focus on providing value. They focus on solving people's problems. They focus on what they can do to really solve problems. And the more problems they solve, or the more value they provide, and the bigger the magnitude of their value to people, they become more successful. And as I said, on the other hand, the poor will always believe that they have to go back to school to get higher certificate. And they believe they are paid according to their certificate and not according to their value. That's why in one of my recruitment sessions, I met a guy who insisted I pay him the salary of a degree holder. And I made him understand that I pay based on value and not based on certificate. So even if an SHS graduate can do the work better than a university graduate, I'll offer the SHS graduate. So that is one of the difference between the rich and the poor. The fourth difference between the rich and the poor is the poor believes poverty is lack of resources, while the rich believes poverty is lack of creativity. This is one major clear difference between the rich and the poor. And that is why you always see the poor saying that if I had gotten money, if I had gotten support, if someone could help me, I would have done this. But the rich, on the other hand, believes that poverty is not lack of resources, it's lack of creativity. And the rich believes that if you are always creative in thinking, you can always succeed in any endeavor of life. For example, let's consider the continent of Africa, which is the richest in terms of natural resources. For the avoidance of doubt, Africa's population constitutes 16% of the world's population, but the resources of Africa is 35% of the world's total resources. So you can imagine a continent that is having 16% of the total global population is having 35%. So that tells you the magnitude of resources that Africa has. But Africa is the poorest in the whole world in terms of development. So how can the continent that really has the biggest, that is really the richest in terms of resources, is the poorest in terms of development? It's because of lack of creativity. For example, cobalt and nickel are produced in Africa. These are the core ingredients that are used to manufacture mobile phones. Unfortunately, Africans cannot manufacture a mobile phone. The only company that was started 2 years ago in South Africa, that is the Mara Phones, has collapsed and they've sold it out. So this tells you about you having everything that you need to develop, but you are still not successful. That's why I hear a lot of people telling me, I want to start a business, I don't have money. And if you even find out, you realize that it's not money they are lacking, it's the idea. They really want to move from 1 to 100 and not moving from 0 to 1. If you are moving from 0 to 1, which is actually the real move in life, you need ideas and not money. I'm not saying that you don't need money to really champion your ideas. You need money. But what I mean is that even the money, the connections you make to really get that money, is even ideas, it's creativity. If you have the best idea in the world and you cannot connect with the right people, then your idea will die. So connection or thinking, being creative and being able to connect to people, which is the ideas, and that result from your creativity, is what is important. Not having the money. If you have everything, but you're not creative, then your business will still collapse. So that's one major difference between the rich and the poor. The last one I will talk about is the poor thinks more about profit when they are starting a business. The poor thinks more about profit when they are starting a business, while the rich thinks more about providing value. What do I mean? The poor is always thinking about profit. Okay, how much profit can I make if I sell this? Rather than what value can I provide that no one else is providing. So for the philosophy of the poor, when they see someone selling something and people are buying, okay, they also quickly jump into it, buy that thing and start selling. So that's why they enter a lot of crowded businesses, and at the end of the day, they are not able to succeed in the competition. But the rich is always thinking, what unique value can I offer? What is it? What problem is there that no one has found a solution yet? What can I do to provide a unique solution to solve a problem? So they think of value, ideas, solutions to problems that no one has, that is currently not available. So at the end of the day, they are able to provide solutions that no one has. And the more, when you create a path, that is how you really provide more value and you become very rich. But because the poor enters into crowded businesses and they are not bringing any innovation, at the end of the day, they don't succeed. So that is why the poor is always thinking about profit. The rich is thinking about value. When you think about value and when you provide the value, the money will come automatically. Thank you so much for watching. Once again, share this video, subscribe to this channel, and like this video. Thank you for watching once again.